Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse podcast. This is episode number 463. My name's Adam Patterson. With me today, we've got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
Hello.
How's it going?
Very cold.
Yeah, it's cold here too. Very cold.
Cold and windy. I don't like it.
Yep, it's very unpleasant. This week on the show, we'll be taking a look at The Wonder, which is out now on Netflix. We'll also be going over some we're watching on the watch list and going over this week's new releases in theaters, VOD, and Blu-ray. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Please remember to review us on iTunes if you get a chance. That'd be great. New Saved by the 90s is coming very soon. We're recording it as of you listening to this right now. We will have recorded it, but it'll be dropping maybe next week, hopefully, depending on how quickly I can edit. I guess I can drop the topic, the theme of this month's episode, and that's presidential films. So we're going to be talking about movies like Dave and Air Force One and American President and Canadian Bacon. Dave. I watched that today, actually.
Did you enjoy yourself?
I did. Surprisingly, actually. I surprisingly enjoyed myself with that one. Like, I've seen it before when I was very, very young, and I didn't really remember too much. All right, let's dive into our review. We're talking about The Wonder, which is on Netflix right now. It's directed by Sebastian Lelio. I have a synopsis here. A tale of two strangers who transform each other's lives. A psychological thriller and a story of love pitted against evil.
That is something.
Is that
something else?
Is that the actual synopsis that's supposed to be linked to the movie that I watched? Because that is not... I mean... I guess you could say that, but it is very misleading. That is a very misleading synopsis.
Like, that synopsis started out like this is an inspirational, Hallmark movie almost, and it's not that.
I don't even know if I'd call it a psychological thriller either, really.
No, I wouldn't.
And also a story of love pitted against evil. There's evil in it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's love pitted against it. And I don't know. We'll get into it, I guess. So, this stars Florence Pugh. This is the second week we're talking about a Pugh film.
It seems like our birthday films are Pugh.
Yeah. This came out on my birthday, so that's very exciting for me, I guess. I gotta say though, I really wasn't into this movie. It was fine, like, for the most part. Yep. There were some weird elements to it that I really wasn't on board with, like the bookends. I thought was kind of weird how the movie starts off in like a soundstage. And then you have this narrator who is one of the characters. Kitty O'Donnell's the character name. Niamh Algar is the actress. I'm probably mispronouncing that as usual, but she was in Censor. And so yeah, you have this like kind of weird wraparound thing, and then once, I believe, during the movie, she breaks the fourth wall and like talks to us and like kind of identifies herself as the narrator, but
and just stares at us.
And I didn't. It's not that I guess I would say I disliked that because I didn't really see the point of it.
Yeah, I was indifferent to it. I think like at the beginning I was like, okay, this is interesting, and then at the end I was just like, yeah, all right.
I just don't feel like they really went anywhere with it.
No, I think the only thing, I could be missing something, but the only thing to me it felt like, because this is all about stories, and believing in stories wholeheartedly, trying to set you up that like, hey, this is a story. Like, yeah, I mean,
But I didn't need that. Like there
yeah,
were several moments where they like blatantly talked about like the story, the people and their and stories, and also I feel like we're getting a lot of these like stories about stories, 10,000 Years of Longing, or is it 10,000, whatever the number of years of longing, that was all about stories and storytelling.
Adam, stories are important. All
They
right,
are important, I agree.
nothing
So
without
I
stories.
because the synopsis didn't really get into it, I guess I should go over what this movie's actually about, or what actually happens in the plot. You have Florence Pugh as this nurse who gets called to this Irish village to investigate a strange phenomenon where a young girl is not eating, and she has not eaten in 4 months, and yet she's not getting sick, or she's perfectly fine. And she says that she's feasting on manna, and so basically a tribunal gets together, and they hire Florence Pugh and then a nun to take 8-hour shifts just observing this girl. And in 2 weeks, they have to report back their findings. And so you have Florence Pugh just trying to figure out. I mean, because she's a nurse, she's skeptical that this girl went 4 months without eating. So the bulk of the movie is just her trying to figure out like how she's able to do this. And that's kind of interesting. And where it goes to some pretty dark places, as really towards the end, when you get the big reveals about like what the truth is behind all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked kind of where it went. I thought it was entertaining, but at the end of the day, I think it just didn't really have any kind of lasting power for me.
Yeah, and I think it was one of the issues that I have with it, or one of the reasons is it didn't work, which I think is just a personal thing because I don't have the religious, spiritual side, is that like from the outset, you know that she's not feasted on manna, obviously. And you're just like, well, is someone sneaking her food? And it never really seems like they tease that out. Like, oh, what could it be? It just feels like it's always like, well, somehow she's getting food. We'll find out then.
Yeah, and then you have like Toby Jones in here as this other doctor, and he's the guy who kind of really wants to figure out what's going on here. He's trying to figure out. He's thinking like she's getting energy from photosynthesis and shit. And
I do like that his character he is based in science, but at the same time, he's really open to the possibility of like something crazy and new and awesome is happening.
Yeah.
And he's just fucking amped about it. Maybe it's magnetism.
yeah, magnets. Maybe it's
Maybe it's
magnet. That's gonna be my anytime I don't understand anything moving forward. I'm just gonna be like, maybe it's magnets.
Which is good because maybe it is.
Magnets are incredible.
Fucking nuts. Who knows what they do?
And then you have Will Byrne as he's a journalist who gets wind of this whole thing. So he's like writing a story on it, and he's trying to figure out what's going on too. But then he and Florence Pugh's character, they end up falling for each other, and so you got a kind of a love story angle going on here too.
Yeah, and that was another issue that I had because that just the development of that relationship just felt really rushed and undeveloped. Because like they're just like, oh, they don't seem to be a thing. She definitely hates him, and then next thing you know, she's just telling him everything.
Yeah,
It's just like, whoa, what the fuck happened?
yeah, they fell hard for
Next
each
thing you know,
other.
they're having sex. Yeah, it's just like, oh, I mean, All right. I guess we got to speed things up because we spent like over an hour of just watching a girl not eat.
Yeah, and that portion of it was just kind of, it was kind of dull because the girl didn't really do anything cool. Like, she pretty much just stayed in her bed and
That's
walked
what I mean.
around.
That's why I'm saying that it didn't feel like they ever teased that it could possibly be anything else. You know what I mean? There was never anything that was happening on screen that you were like, well, what could it be? It's just always rooted in well, she's getting food from somewhere because she's clearly not doing anything. So someone's just sneaking her food. Or maybe it is magnets. I don't know.
Well,
Really hoping it was magnets. I think if it was magnets, it'd be a better movie, honestly.
yeah, I mean, when you do finally figure out what happened, it is a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, because you're just like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. They also made a point to show pretty much every meal that Florence Pugh's character ate. I don't know if
Which
you
was
noticed that.
always, yeah, which was always, it looked like it was either grass or baked grass, is what it looked like. It was one of those two things.
Yeah. They showed her scarfing lots of stews and old timey Irish
What-
meals.
And I mean, Jesus Christ, the first time she's introduced to the Will Byrne character,
Yeah, what a
he's just
dick,
like right off the bat, he's just like, oh, you eating for two? 'Cause we eat
Which
so
was
much.
so weird because like the portions that maybe it's because I'm used to American portions. That's probably what it is. But I thought to myself, like, it looks like she just has a bowl of stew there. Like, it's not an overwhelming amount.
It's a ridiculous amount of grass stew. Come on.
But what a douche! Like the second that he meets her, like,
Yeah.
what
And
what
it-
what you eating her meal and yours? What's going on here,
Yeah.
lady?
Fucking ridiculous. And that's what he starts out with, that he knows that the follow-up is going to be, hey, can you help me write this story? Because I don't have any information.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Like he's approaching her to ask for her help with this.
Yeah. But I guess it worked out because
Yeah,
got what he
yeah,
wanted.
he got some.
he got everything that he wanted.
Mm-hmm. I guess
The only thing that I will say is that I thought it was a gorgeous film. Beautiful.
yeah,
Like
but
the landscapes and stuff, and you got cinematography from Ari Wagner. So, looking good. It's good looking. Performances are all right, but yeah, overall, like you said, it's fine. It's just fine. It's
Yeah.
not going to have any lasting impact.
it's a bit
fine.
it's a bit lackluster. I will say that I really loved that transition at the very beginning, you know, when they're on the
Cool.
sound stage and then they do that slow kind of zoom in into the on the ship or wherever she was. That was I liked that
I
a lot.
enjoyed those, and I really loved the dissolve of, I think it was Anna, where like the hills in the distance dissolve into her laying in bed. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So you got some visual stuff here that I think works.
I feel
I mean, far more artistic than what you normally expect out of a Netflix film. I'll say that.
yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. I mean, if you've seen any of these like kind of countryside type period pieces, like it has kind of a standard look to it. Except I think that the interiors were a little bit more interesting in this one just because they looked so stark. I liked a lot of the interiors.
Everything had that like green tint to it.
Yeah. Yep.
On the walls.
And then she always wore that like bright blue dress that kind of contrasted with the countryside. There was some more, I don't know, like if you would consider some of the other elements spoilers, but there were several other elements to this, specifically with like the big reveals that happened at the end and like what kind of truths bubbled to the surface, but then also with the Florence Pugh's character as Lib, like she had some past trauma that she was still not quite, healed from, and so she was like kind of grappling her own demons during this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's just I don't know. There's not a lot to say for me personally. Maybe other people got a lot more out of it. I didn't get a whole lot out of it. Um, like again, I thought it was. I am interested to know what, like, if you're Irish and you watch this, like, what is because they kind of make Irish people look fucked up.
Yeah, and this is like post potato famine, right?
Yeah,
It's
and
like
they make
right
a point of
after.
being like, she's an English nurse going, and it's just the Will Burns family, and then this family, everything that comes
Mm-hmm.
to the surface. Like, damn, why you gotta do Ireland like that? It's laying it on a bit much, don't you think?
Yeah, like I said, there are some dark revelations that happen in this that are kind of fucked up,
Mm-hmm.
and
Very much so.
make everything sort of make sense at the end. What did you think about, without giving it away? What did you think about the ending?
I mean, I guess it worked.
They wrapped everything up very nicely.
Yeah, they sure did. They sure did. Yeah, again, it's just like it's just one of those movies where I'm just like, it's fine.
Yeah,
It's fine.
I didn't really like. I really didn't have too many notes on this one, like specific things to go over.
And it's like an extension of that is I can see how anyone feels about it. Like any end of the spectrum. Like if you love it, sure. I could see that.
Absolutely.
If you hate it, I could see that too. Like, sure. Everyone just feel how you feel about it. It's great.
Yeah, like I came away from it not really. I'm kind of sitting on the fence with this one. Like I just don't really have any opinions on it at all. I do see how it could resonate with people, how it plays out, and sort of the like religious slash familial aspects of it, and also it deals with some mental illness issues as well, like PTSD, even like dissociative identity disorder.
But don't forget the big one, trauma.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, trauma's given. That's a given.
Yes.
So yeah, like it deals with topics that I think, again, could resonate with a lot of people. It didn't really hit for me. I just thought it was average and, just meh.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Cool. Let's go ahead and give this a score. Kevin, what are you going to give The Wonder?
I'd probably go like a 6. Like I want to go straight down the line, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I got to give it a little bit more because, like, technically speaking,
It's
like,
not bad.
in the filmmaking sense. It's a very well made film.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. I feel like a 6 is probably right around where I'm sitting too. I just feel like a 5 is a bit too,
Yeah.
but by Rotten Tomatoes standards, a 5 is a rotten. And I just I don't know if I
wouldn't say that it's rotten.
I wouldn't say it's rotten. All right, let's move on. Talk about some of what we've been watching. Again, The Wonder is on Netflix if you're interested. I don't have a whole lot to go over this week. I've been very busy, but I did see a couple things, and I'll start things off with Smile. I just watched Smile this afternoon. That's out now on VOD. So I was kind of anxious to see this, but
What came first, Dave or Smile?
Dave came first.
Oh, okay.
So this is directed by Parker Finn. I'm sure that you're familiar with this by seeing trailers or the viral marketing campaign that was surrounding this, which was actually quite cool. I thought. I like it when movies do, goofy, goofy marketing campaigns. The movie itself, it was fine. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was this was another one that was like kind of straight down the middle for me. I'd probably give this one a 6. Also, it was not nearly as kind of creepy or scary as I kind of hoped it would be, and that's largely due to the fact that most of the early scares you see in the trailer. So I feel like this is a case where the trailer gave away far too much. It's a bit of a slow burn, actually. So what you have here is Sosie Bacon stars as she's like she's a doctor who works in a psychiatric emergency psychiatric ward in a hospital. I'm sure there's like a proper term for it. But she has a patient come in who ends up committing suicide, and the circumstances surrounding it were like definitely off. They were definitely creepy. And it turns out that like this patient of hers was cursed, and when the fact that she witnessed this suicide and she was there for it, like it passed the curse onto her. So throughout the movie, she's just trying to figure out like where this came from, what is it, how do I stop it, all of this stuff. So it's a bit of an intriguing story, and then throughout the whole time, as her like time is running out, she starts to like kind of see more and more horrific things around her. And then, of course, there's this whole, like, the big part of it is she crazy? Is she not? Everybody thinks she's crazy. Her fiance thinks she's crazy. Her family thinks she's crazy, blah, blah, blah. We know that there's more to it than that, but none of the other characters do, of course. And to add on to that, there's this whole thing where, like, her mother was very mentally ill and caused a lot of problems. So of course everybody thinks that she inherited that, and she's becoming psychotic and is developing schizophrenia or something. So I wasn't into that, obviously, because I never am. Unfortunately, the whole movie's kind of based around it, so that was a bit of a bummer. But the end was pretty cool. It doesn't end in your typical Hollywood-style horror movie fashion. It definitely subverts your expectations a little bit, and you get to see some pretty creepy shit towards the end. So maybe a light recommend. I would say if it looks like it's maybe on Paramount Plus from the look of from what it says here. Yeah, it is on Paramount Plus. So if you have Paramount Plus, give it a look.
Unfortunately, no one does.
No, I don't, so I just rented it. But yeah, I don't know. It's, again, light recommend.
All right. I watched Steve Buscemi's written and directed Trees Lounge from 1996.
Oh, man. I remember seeing this at Hollywood Video all the time.
All the time.
All the freaking time.
And this has been on my wife's watch list for, I think, since Letterboxd was a thing. So I've seen it numerous times, just over and over and over again. Well, I finally watched it because it's on Tubi. You watch it on there. So Steve Buscemi, he plays Tommy, and Tommy is an alcoholic. He lives in this small apartment above the Trees Lounge, and he always drinks at the Trees Lounge. And he's just, most of his day is spent in and around the Trees Lounge. Okay? It's one of those slice of life type films. He's recently lost his job. He's lost his girlfriend. He's pretty much just lost all of it. He's just kind of a loser. Except he doesn't realize that. But as the movie goes on, I think he starts to starts to recognize that fact that he's pretty much a loser. And one of the things that kind of makes this happen, it makes him come to this realization, is that he gets involved with his ex-girlfriend's 17-year-old niece, who's played by Chloe Sevigny. So you have her in there, you got Carol Kane, you got Samuel L. Jackson shows up for a little bit, you got Kevin Corrigan, Seymour Cassell, Michael Imperioli, like just a bunch of people in this. So he gets involved with his niece, or his ex-girlfriend's niece, and it's just, gets him in trouble. And then he kind of comes to a realization. If you like those types of movies where it's just kind of, all these ancillary characters and just not really a plot to the film, just kind of, day to day, what a nobody's doing with their life, it works pretty well. And especially because it's Steve Buscemi. I think that helps a lot. If it was someone else, because you spend all your time with this loser, so it's got to be a somewhat likable loser.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he's not likable, because as soon as the niece thing starts, you're just like, this is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
This fucking guy. But I would definitely give it a little light recommend. Maybe leaning a little bit heavier on the light.
I'd say like this is like one of the, if you're thinking about like the 90s indie film scene, this is like definitely one of those. Like this fits that to a T.
Oh, it is to the T. 90s independent cinema with Steve Buscemi. So if you're into that kind of thing, you'll fucking love it. If you're not, just
steer clear.
Steer clear of it.
The only other one that I saw this week was called Hell High, and this is from 1989, directed by Douglas Grossman. It's a horror movie, but it's, I would say, like a really light horror movie. It's mostly just like a teen high school kind of drama. What you have here is, it says here, a teacher with a paranormal gift and a dark past. I don't know anything about that, because the teacher in this definitely doesn't have a paranormal gift, as far as I can tell.
Huh.
So what you have here is a class, a group of like misfits, I guess. They go out to play a prank on a teacher who is unwell. She's like mentally just barely hanging on. And this prank that they do causes her to, like, first of all, they almost kill her. And then that causes her to have kind of a psychotic break and go after them and try to kill them. It's okay. It's not what I expected. I was kind of expecting this to be a slasher because it's called Hell High, and the tagline is, "The teachers are tough, but their exams are murder."
Oh no!
And I was like, "Oh man, this is like an '80s. This looks like an '80s high school slasher movie that I haven't seen." And it's not really that. It's definitely different. I enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining. I mean, it's pretty much exactly what you would expect from an '80s slasher, minus the slasher. There's definitely murder in it, but it's all very kind of not great, and it happens at the end, and it's kind of low budget looking. The makeup effects are not very good in this at all. In fact, they're horrible. And some of the actions of the characters don't make a whole lot of sense at all. Like Christopher Stryker's character, some of the shit that he does is just so like, even like a dickhead type character wouldn't do some of the stuff that he does. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. But yeah, I don't know. It's fine as far as like 80s horror movies go. Like, I was in the mood for one. This definitely fit the bill. This is on Arrow's streaming service.
I just I saw that you watched this, that it was in your diary, and I pulled it up and I was reading it, and I'm like, oh, this sounds pretty fucking cool. And then everything that you just said, now I'm just super confused
It's
because it sounds like the synopsis on Letterboxd is lying to us.
yeah, I mean, it's it's sort of true, but this all happens at the very, very end of the movie. Like the whole synopsis is the very last scene, pretty much. Everything that builds up to that is just a bunch of kids, like like they do this like big prank at the football game, and they like drive the car out onto the field during the football game, and then they're pulling some pranks on some other people, and they're messing around with the coach, and it's like a high school drama up until the end when they decide to go
Yeah.
after this teacher. It's very strange.
It sounds like it. I'm definitely not interested. I
Nah,
was, I
nah,
was, and I'm happy that you told me about it because now I can not put it on my list.
nah. I don't think you would like dislike it or anything, but there's just nothing. You wouldn't get anything out of it.
Yeah, just sounds like a waste of my time. I'm about to talk about a movie that didn't waste my time because first things first, it's only 79 minutes, so it didn't take up that much of my time to begin with.
Hell yeah.
And then on top of that, it didn't waste any of it because it's very economical this runtime, and screenplay pretty damn good. And that's Abraham Polanski's Force of Evil from 1948. This is a 40s noir movie with John Garfield playing Joe Morse. Now, what Joe Morse, he's working for this guy Tucker. Tucker, he's doing the big time like small numbers racket type deal. Everybody's putting like pennies and nickels and stuff on if the number's going to come up. So Tucker's doing it big time. And then you have all these like littler banks. They're doing the small time stuff. Gang small guys on the bottom. One of Joe Morris's older brother, he's one of the small time bank thing. He's running those because he doesn't want to get involved with all the gangsters. It's just too much violence and everything. So he doesn't want a part of that. But Joe Morse is going to work with his client Tucker, where things get a little dicey because he's supposed to be his lawyer. He's going to work with him. They got it set up that they're going to put all the banks out of business, and essentially what they're going to do is they're consolidate all those banks into one thing, just one bank, one organization that runs all the numbers. And they're just going to be raking in cash left and right. As you can imagine, it's a noir film from the 40s, so things don't go as planned. And people get caught in tough situations. We got guns being pulled out, shootouts in the dark. It's just such a good time. It's exactly what I wanted because I was like, I'm in a noir mode here. I want to watch an old one, black and white. I just want the old style stuff, and it's exactly what I wanted. And not only is the writing good, and it's very brisk and just kind of straightforward and gets to the point in and out, but it's also shot very well too. So it's also gorgeous. So I definitely can recommend Force of Evil, which I watched on the Criterion channel.
Nice.
And it looks like it's on Plex. Whatever the fuck Plex is.
Plex is it's a home media server. It's like a local media server, but it also
And
they
films
also
on
have
there.
like a
I thought
free
that was just
what?
I said I knew I didn't know that they had films now.
Yeah, they that's a relatively new thing, and it's always free too. So they have like a their own streaming service that you can like watch the stuff directly from your Plex app or whatever.
Interesting.
And they have a pretty robust lineup. Like it's pretty good, and it's ad supported, so you there's ads, but they're all free.
Interesting. Well, if you got Plex, check out Force of Evil.
All right, let's take a look at what we have in theaters this week. The only one I see here is Bones and All. You excited for Bones and All?
Oh yeah.
There's also one that's coming out called Devotion.
Gotta look it up.
It looks like
What
a
is
fighter
Devotion?
pilot. Fighter pilot movie with Jonathan Majors
Yeah, that's right.
and Glenn Powell.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Correct.
an aerial war epic.
Watch out now.
I mean, I like Jonathan Majors. I like Glenn Powell too, actually.
I've never heard of Glenn Powell.
He's not a name that you would have heard of, but you've probably seen him in things.
He looks like a default person.
He usually plays like kind of an asshole dude bro.
Gotcha.
I think he might have been in Top Gun, actually, the new Top Gun.
He was. You are correct.
Yeah. He's like the new Iceman, pretty much.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for theaters. VOD this week. Let's see what we got going on. For November 22nd, we have Blood Relatives. That's going to be on Shudder. It looks to be like some kind of horror Christmas comedy or something.
Oh boy.
This is starring, written and directed by Noah Segan, and he plays a vamper. He plays a 115-year-old Yiddish vampire.
Okay.
Could be kind of fun. I'll probably check it out. I like Noah Segan. We have Don't Look at the Demon. We got Poker Face. That's the one with Russell Crowe. I think that's directed by Russell Crowe also. We have Creatures of Necessity. Something in the Dirt. That's the new Benson and Moorhead vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
There's, I don't know how to pronounce this, Nocebo? Nocebo. It looks like maybe a thriller with Ava Green. Let's see. On the 23rd, we have Bones and All. Also on the 23rd, we have The Swimmers. That's going to be on Netflix. And then on the 24th, we have The Noel Diary on Netflix. And Deconstructing Karen. And then on the 25th, we have Ghislaine Maxwell, Filthy Rich. It's a documentary, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
We have The Last Dolphin on Netflix. The Filthy Rich one's on Netflix, too. I don't know if I mentioned that. The King of Laughter. And it looks like that's about it for VOD. Blu-ray this week. I gotta pull up the calendar. Hold on a second.
That's slim pickings.
For VOD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple in there, but
Yeah, I mean, like, unfortunately, I saw Something in the Dirt, and I didn't like it, so, I mean, maybe we'll talk about that next week, but I'm definitely not going to rewatch it, so it's just going to be based on my memories of it from a couple months ago.
it's like, no, I'm not doing it again.
I'm not doing it again, man. I'm sorry. I love Benson and Moorhead. I've loved every single one of their movies, but this one I was just wasn't feeling it, man.
You already know what's in the dirt.
I do, and that's kind of why I don't want to watch it again. Okay, let me see what we got going on with Blu-ray. This is for November 22nd. We got Planes, Trains, and Automobiles coming out in 4K. High Plains Drifter from 1973 coming out in 4K. Mystery Men from 1999. Rollerball from 1975. The Company of Wolves from 1984.
Yeah.
Which you just talked about.
Yeah, that's a good one. Highly recommend.
Pennywise, The Story of It, which I guess is a documentary.
Don't need it. Come on now.
No, we don't need that. Hair Extensions from 2007. Let's see. Hatching from earlier this year. Bros from earlier this year. The Good House from, I think that was from earlier this year also. Crabs from last year. director's edition. You see collector's editions, you see director's cuts, but you rarely see director's editions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. What about Criterion's?
Oh, we got two. We got that first Criterion collab with Wall-E. Wall-E's coming out on Criterion now.
I think this is cool because I think that Disney films absolutely should be on Criterion, just because, you know, the whole kind of point of the Criterion is like important and influential films. And I think that obviously Disney plays a role in that. I think that Wall-E, I don't know if that one, I mean, it was a great movie, don't get me wrong.
Well,
But
it's on Criterion.
I don't know if they're
And
like.
it's got,
Sorry, go ahead.
well, I think I know what you're going to say, and it will be interesting to see what they do down the road, moving forward. Is it just going to be Wall-E? Are they going to be doing a lot of other stuff?
Yeah, like, is it just Pixar, or are they gonna dip in? Because I feel like Snow White, for instance, like that should be on Criterion.
Yeah. Well, it'll remain to be seen. All I know is that the Wall-E DVD has, or the Blu-ray has tons of special features. It's just tons. You just keep scrolling, and it keeps being bullet points. It's ridiculous.
Well, this is good too, because I feel like a lot of the Disney and Pixar Blu-ray releases are very lacking. Like, maybe not compared to like some things, but I guess there's like a certain expectation you have with those releases where they have like a lot of bonus content, and
yeah,
I think a lot of them are just kind of lacking.
And good, then the other one is Spike Lee's Malcolm X.
Continuing that Spike Lee journey.
That's right, and they got a bunch of new conversations, new interviews, all sorts of stuff on there. So, two biggies.
Very good. Very nice. All right, I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet and @FilmPulseKevin. And if you have a minute, consider giving us a review on iTunes. That'd be great. For Kevin Rickshaw, my name is Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.